Let's discuss community medicine. What is community medicine? It deals with the health of community. We see the health of community in community medicine or health issues of community. What are various health issues of community? So we will discuss this lecture according to following learning objectives. Number one, we will see the definition of community medicine and its significance. Then we will see the definition of health. Then we will discuss natural history of disease. We will define natural history. We will explain natural history of disease and various advantages of natural history of disease. Then we will discuss epidemiological triad according to agent, host, and environment. And then we will summarize the session. At the end of session, you will able to know about community medicine definition, about health definition, about natural history of disease and epidemiological triad. So let's start with community medicine. What is community medicine? Branch of medicine which deals with the health issues of community. Health issues of community are discussed in community medicine. There are various health issues of a community. Cause spectrum of disease in the community is different. Spectrum of disease in clinic is different. We develop a comprehensive health system. What is meant by comprehensive health system? System which covers all the aspects, not only medical, it covers psychological and social aspects as well. This comprehensive healthcare is provided by a healthcare team. We have to develop a health team, or we have to train a health team which will provide comprehensive healthcare to community. Why? To improve health of community, to improve health status of community. So, community medicine is significant. It has a role to play to improve the health of community. We'll do community diagnosis. What community diagnosis is? We will see the pattern of disease in community. What is the pattern of disease? We will see who is at risk, which people are vulnerable. Then we will plan and implement. We will plan to control the problem. We will do implementation. We will do implementation by a certain strategy. We'll train a health team. We'll allocate the budget. Then all of this is done for prevention of disease or control of disease, to reduce the burden of disease. We will monitor and evaluate the system, whether our interventions are successful or not. Our interventions are helpful in decreasing burden. They are helpful in increasing the health status. And we will predict the health status of community on the basis of this. What is prediction? We'll say that our community is healthy or not. We'll predict on the basis of mortality. If mortality is higher, our community is not healthy. We'll predict on the basis of morbidity. If morbidity is greater, then we can say that burden of disease is greater and community is not healthy. So we can say that all of this is done for prevention. All of this is done for control. We will achieve prevention. First we'll do community diagnosis. We will see the pattern of disease in the community. We'll do community diagnosis. We'll establish a system. We'll plan. We'll plan according to needs, according to requirements of community. That's why it is essential to know the burden of disease in the community, to know the pattern of disease in community, to know who is at the risk in the community. We'll plan. We'll do implementation. Only making a plan is not sufficient. We have to implement that plan. Implementation is done. Implementation has certain requirements. We need money. We need budget. We need a team. We need a strategy. We'll implement. Okay. After implementation, we'll monitor whether our system is working or not. We will evaluate our intervention are successful or they are not successful, what changes need to be made. And we predict to predict the health status of community. All of this has one aim, one objective: prevention of disease, improvement of health status of community. Our community should be healthy. Let's discuss the definition of health. Sometimes some people say that absence of disease is health. No. WHO says it is a state. It is a state of complete physical, mental. It is very important aspect of health, mental health, social well-being. Person should be socially healthy, not merely the absence of disease. Absence of disease is not health. All these elements should be present. And infirmity or disability, a person is said to be healthy if all these three dimensions are present. He is mentally healthy, he is socially healthy, he is physically healthy. Let's discuss the dimensions one by one. Number one, physical dimension. When you say a person is physically healthy, if he is performing his activities, if his body is functioning, if he is moving, if he is running, so he is functioning normally. When you say a person is mentally healthy, absence of mental disease is not about mentally healthy. We must see the interaction, or we can say that how he reacts to situations. If a person reacts normally, he is mentally healthy. What is his reaction in anger? What is his reaction in fear? What is his reaction in happiness? And then social dimension, social environment, surrounding environment, his interaction. In a daily life, we interact with certain people. A person may interact with his family members. How is his interaction with the family? He may interact with his neighbors. His interaction in his working environment, they all affect our health. If his interaction with his colleagues is not normal, he may develop stress. If his interaction in home with family members is not normal, he may develop stress. So all these elements contribute towards comprehensive health of individuals. Complete physical, he is functioning normally. Complete mental, he is acting normally, his actions are normal, he is reacting normally. Social well-being, his interaction, it is not merely the absence of disease and infirmity. So now we'll discuss natural history of disease. What is natural history? It's a process of disease progression. We'll see how the disease progresses in the absence of any treatment. No treatment is given. Or we can say that it is the unfolding of disease process without any intervention. No intervention is done. We just see how disease progresses. Our disease process starts with the invasion of risk factors. Risk factors bring certain changes in the body. Certain signs and symptoms appear. It may progress to later stages. It may recover. It may cause death or disability. So let's discuss them. We can see there are two phases, pre-pathogenesis and pathogenesis. What is pre-pathogenesis? Agent or risk is present. Host is present. And there is certain environment, but they are not interacting with each other. This is pre-pathogenesis. When they start interaction, they may produce a disease. How? Pathogenesis phase starts after the completion of incubation period. What is incubation period? It is a time period between the invasion of organism till the appearance of first signs and symptoms. Or organism invades, it provides signs and symptoms after some time. This time is incubation period. After manifestation or invasion, early symptoms appear. Early symptoms appear in the host. Then, if we let the process to progress, There may be later symptoms, maybe later pathogenesis, or late pathogenesis. And this pathogenesis, what can it cause? One may recover, but if it progresses, illness can cause disability. Disability can cause defect. It may lead to chronic stage and may cause death. Like in certain diseases, in coronavirus, one may recover, 96-97% of people recover. Disease doesn't go beyond late pathogenesis. But in chronic diseases, like in cancers, disease process expands. It causes disability. It causes chronic state. It causes death. Some of the diseases, like stroke, they may cause disability, paraplegia, hemiplegia, monoplegia. So it is important to know the natural history of disease. Why it is important? If we know various stages, we can apply various interventions. We can apply control measures. Aim is to protect the community, to do prevention. So we can apply this on tuberculosis. As we see, there is risk which causes outcome. In case of tuberculosis, what is risk factor? What is agent? Mycobacterium. Mycobacterium causes TB, but it needs a certain host. It needs a certain environment. We can say that mycobacterium needs a host. Which host? Susceptible, vulnerable, with at high risk. It needs an environment to grow. When the environment becomes favorable, the immunity of host decreases, or the dose of organism increases. So they are not interacting, it is pre-pathogenesis. They are present, but when they start interaction, they cause pathogenesis. Process of pathogenesis start, incubation period is completed, signs symptoms appears. When early symptoms appears, we can say that there is fever, low-grade fever, there is cough, there is weight loss, loss of appetite. It is early pathogenesis. If you don't stop the process here, or if you don't diagnose the disease here, it will lead to late pathogenesis. What late pathogenesis can cause? Dissemination of disease. Disease may progress, and then it can have a severe outcome. In case of tuberculosis, if no treatment is done, 1/3 of people die. 1/3 people die within first year, and about 50% die within 5 years. We can see the severity of disease. So we know the natural history. We can apply intervention of tuberculosis. We can stop the risk factor. We can improve the quality of life. We can detect it at early pathogenesis. We may detect it at later pathogenesis, but it affects the prognosis. You detect as early as possible, prognosis is good. If we don't detect, person may not recover, he may die. There is recovery. There is recovery in cases of TB. People who have lesser dose of organism, whose immunity is good, they develop only infection and they recover. But people who have lesser immunity, lifestyle is compromised, quality of life is not good. There is overcrowding. There is poor nutrition. They can die. So we have to detect. So what are the advantages of natural history? Pattern of disease. It describes the pattern of disease. And when we know the pattern of disease, we can apply interventions. We can apply various interventions to control that problem. So main advantage is the pattern of disease. We know the pattern, interventions are applied. When interventions are applied, severity is reduced. Severity of disease is reduced. This is all about natural history of disease. Now discuss epidemiological triad or triangle. 3 factors: agent, host, and environment. When they combine, when they interact, they produce a disease. Agent has certain characteristics, host has certain, and there are certain environmental factors. All these affect the health of community. For example, agent. If agent is virulence, it spreads, it is infective, or it can cause a disease. Host is susceptible. Host has poor nutritional status. Host has a genetic problem or host has genetic diseases. Host is vulnerable. Host is at higher risk. And there is environmental exposure, climate, extreme weather, our building designs, poor sanitation, social environment. There is poor healthcare system. Our access to healthcare system is poor. People don't have access for healthcare system. Disease process progress. If only agent, host, and environment are present, they can't cause the disease. There must be some interaction. Agent invades in the host. And if it gets favorable environment, then one may get a disease. Let's discuss them one by one. What is agent? Agent can be living. It can be non-living. What are living agents? You can give example of bacteria. Bacteria is living agent. You can give example of virus. Parasites. Bacteria like Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Like Salmonella typhi. Virus, rotavirus, coronavirus, myxovirus, togavirus, parasites, hookworm, roundworm. What are non-living agents? Heat, extreme heat can cause disease. It can cause heat burn, sunburn, cold. Extreme cold can cause frostbite. Light or radiation. It can cause cancer, skin cancer. These are various agents. Dose of agent is important. If agent has greater dose, it may become more virulent. Bacteria like Salmonella typhi. If dose of Salmonella typhi is greater, it invades and causes a disease. Various living and non-living agents, we can say bacteria, virus, parasite, heat, cold, radiation, they are agents which cause a disease. They cause a disease to a host, but it depends on socio-demographic features of host. Socio-demographic features affect the health status. There are socio-demographic characteristics. A host may be subdivided according to age. It may be subdivided according to gender. It may be subdivided according to occupation. Socioeconomic status plays a role. How age affects children have different diseases. They can develop anemia. Younger ones have different diseases. Older ones have different diseases because immunity is different at different ages. Immunity is lesser at children. Immunity is lesser in old people. It may be greater in young ones. Age affects the disease. Gender. Ischemic heart disease is predominant in male. Gallstones are predominant in females. So gender affects. Typhoid is predominant in males. Occupation. Different occupations are different diseases. A person working in mines can develop anthracosis. A person working in coronavirus ward can develop coronavirus. Socioeconomic status effects. There are low socioeconomic class, middle class, upper class. Low class live in poor quality. They live in slums. They develop communicable diseases. They develop TB. Upper class, they can develop obesity. They can develop ischemic heart disease. Middle class can develop anxiety. So all these factors, age, gender, occupation, socioeconomic status, affect the health status. Now we'll discuss environment. Environment can be biological. It can be psychological. It can be physical. It can be social. What is biological environment? Environment of bacteria, virus, parasites. This is biological environment. What is psychological environment? Interactions. Mental health. Reactions to normal situations or abnormal situations. This is psychological environment. Someone working in stressful conditions is not mentally healthy. It affects the health. Physical environment. Heat, cold, light, radiation. They affect social environment, interaction with others. All these affect the health status of a community or people. If there is greater dose of bacteria, virus, or someone is not psychologically healthy, there is extreme heat, extreme light, extreme cold. They provide a favorable environment. They affect the health status. Someone may not interact normally with his colleagues, with his neighbors. So we can say agent, host, environment, all these interact and produce a disease process. Agent invades the host. It needs a favorable environment for growth. So let's apply this on some disease like measles. We can apply this triangle on measles. What is the agent of measles? Paramyxovirus. Host. Children under 5 years are susceptible to develop measles. So host is children under 5 years. Environment. Poor sanitation. Low socioeconomic status or poor people. And malnutrition. This is epidemiological triad of measles. It's a common question in exams. They say, a children of 2 years has developed rash. He has Koplik spots, which is diagnostic signs of measles, and lives in poor environment. He has low socioeconomic status. He is malnourished. Diagnose the disease. You may say measles. And then they say, draw and label epidemiological triad. So you have to write agent name, paramyxovirus. Host, according to scenario, 2 years. Environment, poor sanitation, low socioeconomic status, malnutrition. So this was all about today. Now we'll summarize our discussion. We have discussed community medicine, the medicine which is applied on a community or a comprehensive health system which is provided by a healthcare team to improve the health of communities, community medicine, or it deals with the problems of community. Then we discuss what is health. Physical, mental, social well-being, not merely the absence of disease. Health and community medicine. Then we discuss natural history of disease, how disease process progresses, how agent invades and causes the disease process.